Usually I teach at 5:30 on Wednesday nights, but we'll switch up today because Jolynn is going to be teaching at 5:30 down at Public Square. Actually, it's usually yoga on the green, and we've done that for a few years now during the summer. But things are different now, so Jolynn is going to be teaching this evening at 5:30 for yoga on the screen instead of the green. So speaking of Jolynn, just would love to reach out to some of you who are doing your home practice in your home studio. And she is looking for some pictures of people. Now, if you're like, I can't do that, I don't want to take a picture in my home studio of myself, that's okay. Maybe you want to just send her a picture of just your studio. We'd like to put together a sort of a Zoom montage of practice spaces. Our hometown studio is looking really different these days, and we'd love to share your spot or your space. So send those pictures to Jolynn, and her email is jolynnmcferrin@gmail.com, and it's McFerren, Jolynn, JOLYNN, jolynnmcferrin@gmail.com. So that would be great. I also just want to reach out and thank people. I've been getting so many lovely emails from people and text messages from people. Your support means the world to us. I don't think it's any secret that we have loved our students from the very beginning. For me, the students have been the reason I teach. And I miss seeing you all. So to hear from you means so much. And I'll stay connected to you too. If you reach out to me, I'll respond back to you. So thanks for staying part of our community. If you're new to the community, I'm so glad you're giving it a shot or you're trying us. I think I love teaching yoga, and I love the way I know students feel. Sometimes at the end, not so much as we're doing it, but thank you for being a part of that. And welcome if you're new. So, let's see. Okay, those were studio announcements. As you know, Jolynn, I always do the studio announcements. All right, so sit comfortably. If you have a blanket or a pillow or something nearby, go ahead and sit yourself up. You'll make space to drop your knees just a little bit lower than your hip bones. That will make space in your low back. With that curve in your low back, you'll have space to actually lift and lengthen out through the shoulders. Good. And then gently pull your ears back so they come over the shoulders. And pull your shoulders back so they come over the hips. And then turn your palms to face upward. Good. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. And begin to settle into your space. If it feels comfortable for you to close your eyes, I'll invite you to close your eyes. This morning, Jolynn shared on Facebook a poem by Joanne Raptis. It says, "Be like a tree, stay grounded, connect with your roots, turn over a new leaf, bend before you break, enjoy your unique natural beauty, keep growing." As you sit in the stillness of your breath, take your awareness to the quality of your in-breath. And exhale it out. Inhale in. Exhale out. Next time you take an in-breath, I invite you to pause just for a moment at the top of the breath. And then exhale it out, letting it go completely. And put that pause at the bottom of the breath. So you're not really holding your breath, you're not straining or efforting, but you're just creating a little space to find that sense of awareness. Awareness to the breath. As you breathe in and breathe out. And what do you notice during the pauses? Sometimes when we take our awareness and heighten it a little bit around the rhythm of our breath, we become tight in the jaw, or we become tight in the space right above the brow. And if that's the case for you, I invite you to let go of wherever you're tightening and just stay with the breath. And then I'll invite you to return back to a natural rhythm with your breath. And just observe how when you let go of the control, the breath has its own natural ebb and flow. And then bring your hands to heart center. Bow your heads to your hearts. And then slowly begin to open your eyes and lift your chin. And take your arms out wide. Turn the palms up. Reach the arms up. Soften your shoulders away from your ears. Anchor down into your hips and feel yourself get taller from the hips through the fingertips. Exhale and release your hands. Good. Inhale, float the arms up. Soften the shoulders. Exhale, release your hands. One more time, we'll reach tall. Keep the shoulders heavy. Keep the hips heavy. Keep the fingertips light. Good. Full breath in. Full exhale, letting go. Take your arms wide again. Snuggling the shoulders onto your back. Reach your right arm across the front of your chest, but try not to move your shoulders. Keep your shoulders nice and square. Take that left arm, bring it underneath the right arm, and grab the left hand onto the right upper arm. Keep the shoulders square. Now gently guide your right arm away from the right shoulder. So you're just finding a little bit of stretch along the top of the right shoulder. And we're just noticing as we breathe in that we need to breathe out. We breathe in, we breathe out. Release. And we'll go to the opposite side. So we'll create that little bit of a stretch. Taking the left arm across the front of the body, the right hand just gently guides the left shoulder away from the left arm away from the left shoulder. Good. Full breath. Nice. Reach your arms out wide. Take your arms up and overhead. Take your hands, interlace your palms. Reach your palms up towards the ceiling. Melt your shoulders away from your ears. Feel the core nice and strong. Go ahead and lean over to your right and feel that space all along the left side of your body. And inhale and come back to center. Lean over to your left. Anchor into your right hip. You'll find space along the right side of the body. Good. Inhale and come back. Exhale, release your hands to the floor. Take your left arm up towards the ceiling. Bend the left elbow. Take your right hand. Reach for the left elbow. Good. Now anchor that left shoulder down to the hip and lean over to your right. Let the right hand guide the left elbow up towards the ceiling. So we're stretching from the left hip through the left side body. Good. Release. Come back to center. Release your hands. Do the same thing on the opposite side. Reach the right arm up, bend the elbow, take the left arm, reach for the elbow, lift your head up in towards the arm so you're staying nice and tall. Anchor into the right hip, lean to your left. And you're just noticing your breath. Maybe you're noticing some space. Good. And then inhale and come back to center. Take another breath. interlace your hands behind the back of your hips. And if that feels like it's too much for you, if your shoulders are still kind of tight, you can always use your strap and just grab your strap. So do what feels good to you. If it feels good to interlace your fingers, interlace your fingers. If it doesn't, don't do it. All right? Good. So you've got lots of space along the front of the body, pulling the hands away from the shoulders, lifting the head away from the hips. And then go ahead and dip your left shoulder over towards your left shoulder towards your left knee. Roll your right shoulder open. Anchor into that right hip. Take your head back, just sort of any amount. And then you'll inhale and come back to center. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So pushing back into the hips, take your right shoulder over towards your right knee. Lift the left shoulder over the right, opening up and breathing. Good. Inhale and come back to center. Notice how that feels. Reach your arms up and overhead. Soften your shoulders. Nice. Okay. Turn your right palm up towards the ceiling. Reach your left hand towards your right wrist. Lean over to your left. Anchor into the right shoulder. Now, I'd like you to think about having a shirt, and you're untucking the shirt on the right side when you do this, right? Now, if you want to untuck it a little bit more, bring your right shoulder forward, but keep your left shoulder back. Feel that space, especially down there by the right hip bone. Do you notice how you're lifting the shirt tail up? That's a hard place for us to stretch, and this particular way of going at it gives us a little more room back there. Now we'll inhale and come back, and we'll go the opposite way. So lean over to the right, untuck your left shirt tail. And it's just sort of any amount. Oops, I think we didn't do the simple, easy stretch to the right first. Then untuck the shirt tail, my bad. Good, and then inhale and come back to center. Release your hands down to the side. Take a breath, turn your palms up and reach up towards the ceiling. Decide which hand's your right hand. Take it to the opposite knee. Take the left hand behind you. Inhale, let your spine get long. From your belly, twist to your left. Good, breathe in, extending long through the spine. As you exhale, make space, deepening into your twist. So just a nice simple twist. And then inhale and make your way back to center, go the opposite way. Make sure that your head is resting at the top of the spine. And you can use your hands to guide you into the space. We're not trying to push or make anything happen. We're really just letting the breath guide us into the space of a twist. And notice what you're feeling and noticing at this point. Right, inhale and come back to center. Take your blanket or whatever it is that you're sitting on. Put it off to the side. We're not going to need it for now. We're going to come into a standing pose. And now's the time, if you wore socks, you may want to take them off because like a tree who needs their roots, it's easier if your feet have a little grasp of your mat, of your sticky mat. So you want to start off in Tadasana, or a mountain pose with the feet hip distance apart. Toes are pointing forward. Good. And then lift your toes off the floor. And you start to feel how when you lift your toes, you push into the ball mount of your big toe. See if you can lift your baby toe and push into the ball mount of your baby toe. Good. Spread the toes nice and wide. All right. Now feel your inside heel. That's part of rooting down. And then feel your outer heel. All right. So now let's really engage the feet. What I notice as soon as I lift my toes off the floor, I start to kind of lock into my knees. Put a softness in your knees, all right? So we want the muscles of the legs to be working, and that also occurs when you lift your toes off the floor. Keep the muscles of the legs engaged. Push into the ball mount of your big toe, the inner heel, the baby toe, the outer heel. Toes are still spread. Now, kind of like Fred Flintstone toes, like, right? You look down. they're sort of wide. Go ahead and set the toes back on the earth, but feel the root, the sole of the foot rooting you down. Good, and then reach your arms up and overhead, and exhale, release your hands back to the floor, or towards your hips. Inhale, reach your arms up. Good, exhale, release. Inhale, float the arms up. Good, soften the shoulders, take your arms wide. So when you take your arms wide, you may start to feel the tips of your low shoulder blades coming closer to your spine on the back of your body. That's an awesome sensation, right? You create a little bit of back cleavage maybe where you feel the shoulders hug on. Hug the belly towards the spine. Anchoring it into your feet. Take the right arm across the front of your chest. Take your left hand and reach for the right shoulder area, upper arm. Keep the shoulders square over the hips. Keep the legs engaged. Just give a little guidance to the right hand or to the right arm pulling gently. So you feel that stretch up by your shoulder. And then we'll come wide and we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. Take the left arm across the front of the body. Keep your shoulders square. Reach the right hand for the left arm. Gently open up. Engage the strength of your core while you're doing this. So we're not just stretching the arms. We're really engaged. Your legs should still be charged, soaking the energy up from the feet. Good. Reach your arms out wide. Float the arms up and overhead. Interlace your palms. Reach up towards the ceiling. Soften your shoulders. Full breath. Keep pushing into the feet as you push through the palms of the hands. Good. And then go ahead and lean over to your right. You feel that left foot anchoring you down. And then you'll inhale and come back up to center. Lean over to your left. Anchor into the right foot. Feel lots of space along the side of your body. Inhale and come back up. Good. Exhale and release your hands. Float your right arm up. Bend your right elbow. Take the left hand. Guide the right elbow towards the floor. And then lean over to your left. And feel the space along the right side of the body. Good. Keep the hips square. Bring that right shoulder forward. Keep the left shoulder back. Good. And then inhale and come back up. And we'll switch sides. Float the left arm up. Take the right hand. Gently guide the left shoulder away from the ear. And lean over to your right. Breathe into this space. And then just bring the left shoulder forward, keeping the hips where they are. So it's a little bit of a twist, but it's also that nice stretch up in the left shoulder. Good, and then inhale and come back up. Reach your arms up and overhead. Exhale, interlace your hands behind your hips. Pull your hands away from your shoulders. Good, take a breath. Keep the hips square. Bring the right shoulder forward. Keep the left shoulder back. Think of untucking the right shirt tail. Inhale and come back. Good. Go the opposite way. Take the left shoulder forward, hinging at the hips. Untuck the left shoulder or left shirt tail. And feel that space along the back of your body. Good. Feel your legs are still engaged, right? Inhale and come back to center. Reach your arms up and overhead and then take your hands to heart center. Feel yourself lining up in that mountain pose we were in just a minute ago. Feet are stable on the floor, the knees are soft, core is strong, the heart's lifting up into the thumbs. Your head's resting at the top of the spine. You're really intentional here. You're not just standing. Good, now take another breath. Let your left foot root down into the floor. Pushing down into the left foot. Bring your right knee directly in front of your right hip. Flex your toes back towards your knees. Finding a little sense of balance here. Good. And it's a good idea to find a drishti or a focal point. So you can just look down the length of your nose. Find something that's not going to move and steady your gaze on that space. You'll find some more steadiness in your physical body if you can find some steadiness in your gaze. Good, and then release the right foot to the floor. I should have said before we did that, if you're standing near a wall and you prefer to do this, just put your hand against the wall. You can also put your booty near the wall and your heels near the wall. Try not to lean against the wall because that's not going to challenge you very much. But if that's what you want to do, it's your practice, it's your house, your studio, all right? Push into your right foot. Hug skin to muscle to bone with both legs. Both legs are strong. Bring the left knee up in front of the left hip. Flex the toes back towards the knees. If it feels good to keep your hands at heart center, do that. Good. Breathe. Good. And exhale and release the left foot. Take a breath. Find that nice foundation again where the feet are stable on the floor. Push into your left foot. Bring your right knee in front of you. More balance. Good. Now, think about pushing on a gas pedal. Straighten your right foot forward like you're flexing the toes onto the gas pedal, right? So you're not pointing and you're not bringing the toes back. You're almost like Barbie doll foot, if you can picture that. Fred Flintstone, Barbie doll. All right. Bend the right knee. Hug the right knee up. Bring the knee in front of the hip. Good. Take a breath. Push on the gas pedal. Maybe you'd like to reach your arms up and overhead, just playing a little bit with balancing. Bring your hands to heart center. Bring your right knee up. Good. Take another breath. You can always tap your foot down to the floor or push on the gas pedal that third time. Take your hands, interlace them behind your hips. Pull the hands down, lift the shoulders up. Feel yourself getting long. Pushing into the gas pedal, pushing down into the root of the left foot, reaching up through the top of the head. Feel the strength of your legs. Bend the right knee, release the right foot. Whew. Good. Take your hands to the tops of your thighs. Bring your head forward. Stopping halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Push down into your feet. Inhale, come all the way up. Float the arms up. Exhale, take your hands to heart center. Let's do the same thing on the opposite side. So you're going to push into the right foot. Bring the left knee forward. Push on your gas pedal. Good. Find that drishti, your focal point. Floint the foot. Not pointed, not flexed, right? Barbie doll foot. Good. Bring the left knee up. Hug skin to muscle to bone. It comes right in front of the hip. Good. Find some steadiness. Push into your left foot again. Reach your arms up. Soften your shoulders. Get tall through the tips of the fingers. Good job. Full breath. Notice what you're noticing. Right. Hands to heart center. Control the coming back. You can tap the foot to the floor. You could not do this if you don't want to. All right. Good. Push into the gas pedal with the left foot. Interlace your hands behind your hips. Pull the shoulders away so you're anchoring down into the feet as you reach the heart forward. Don't forget to breathe. Bring the left knee back up in front of the hip. Release the left foot. Woo, reach your arms up and overhead. Come into your version of forward fold. So it could be half forward fold. Keep your knees super soft. If you feel like reaching your hands down towards the floor, do that. Pushing down, rise up. Reach your arms up and overhead. Good. Exhale the hands to heart center. Turn. No, you don't have to turn. I just do. I don't know where you are on your mat. Anyhow, we're going to step the left foot to the far end of the mat like this. Okay? The right knee will come over the right ankle and the left knee will come down to the floor. Now, one thing you may notice, I'm trying to learn, right? When I teach at the studio, I don't typically use notes because I look at what you all are doing and I have a plan. I have a thought of what I'm doing and where I'm going. But sometimes you guys make suggestions in your faces and I read them. So because I'm teaching here in my space to you, I'm sort of learning like you are how to do this in a different way. So please understand, I'm not a professional videographer, or I am a professional yoga teacher, but not a video yoga teacher. Good. So I get you learning new ways, you get me learning new ways, that's why we're friends. All right, left knee steps back, right knee is weight bearing over the ankle. Take the blocks, walk them back. Keep that right knee weight bearing over the ankle, hug the legs towards each other, float the arms up, soften the shoulders. Full breath, notice what you're noticing here. Okay, take your left hand, reach over the top of your head. Take your right hand on top of the left hand. Go ahead and lift your heart as you sink that shoulder down towards your hip. Breathe in and lean over to the right just a little bit. Inhale, come back to center. Reach for your blocks, reach the blocks forward. Step the right foot back, bring the left foot forward. So the right knee is behind your right hip. Your left knee is weight bearing over your ankle. You feel your shoulders hug onto your back. This is a pose, it's not just a transition. So we feel this space from the right knee, hugging the legs together through the top of the head. Walk the blocks back, but keep the knee where it was. Reach the arms up and overhead. Enjoy the space of your low lunge or crescent pose. Take your right hand or your right arm, bring it over the top of the head. Take your left hand for the right elbow, anchor down. Lean over the bent leg. Over to your left. Feel your breath guide you here. No need to overdo anything. Good, and then come back to center. Reach for the blocks. Take the blocks forward. Take your left knee back. Bring your right foot forward. You can drag your right foot until it comes underneath the right ankle. Left knee's back behind you. Walk the blocks back again. Good. Take a breath. Interlace your hands behind your hips. Gently pull your heart open as you pull your hands down towards the left foot. Good. Breathe here and notice what you're noticing. Good. Take your left shoulder forward, twisting just a little bit. Inhale and come back up. Reach for the blocks. Bring them forward. Switch sides. Take the left foot forward. Right knee comes back. Blocks come back. Good. Any amount of space here. Grasp your hands behind your hips. Lift the heart. Taking the hands back towards the right heel. Feel yourself breathing. And then maybe you want to add that little twist by keeping the hips square and bringing the right shoulder forward. Where do you feel the stretch? Keep your head lifted. I didn't say take your head down, right? Take your shirt. How did I know somebody's dropping their head? I don't know. I just can read your practice from here. Good. Inhale and come back. Maybe that wasn't you. All right, hands to the blocks. We're going to switch again. Take the left knee back. Bring the right foot forward. You got the right knee right over the ankle. Take the blocks back. Inhale. Float the arms up. Soften your shoulders. Okay, now let's untuck the left shirt tail. So you'll keep your hips square. Reach your left shoulder forward. Push back into the low back on the left side. Untuck that left shirt tail. Bring the left shoulder forward. Any amount of space. Feel your left heel pushing back. Maybe you feel some crunchy there. Come back to center. Switch sides. Take the right foot back. Bring the left foot forward. Any amount of space. Inhale, rise up. Untuck the right shirt tail. Inhale and come back to center. Good. Take your right knee off the floor. Push into your left foot. Bring your right foot up to meet it. Push down into both feet. Inhale and rise up. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Take the blocks, set them off to the sides. Bend your knees so much that your booty's sticking way back and your palms are on the floor. Step both feet back and you're in a plank pose. Make sure your wrist creases are right under your shoulders. You can always come down to your knees if you think that plank was more than you wanted to do. And then inhale, use your core, lift your hips up into downward facing dog. You can also do puppy dog if that feels better for you. All right, let's bring the shoulders forward over the wrist creases and bring the knees to the floor. Zip up your pants, right? Feel the core, that space right below the belly button, really pushing back towards your low back. Taking a breath, keeping the elbows next to your body. Lower your chest halfway down. And then come all the way down to the floor. Bring the tops of your feet flat on the floor. Hands are next to your chest. Bring your forehead down to the floor. Take a breath. Isometrically drag your hands back, lifting from the chest. Let your head follow. Push down into the tops of the feet, coming up into a cobra pose. Feel your breath again. Exhale, lower your forehead to the floor. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower back down. Take another breath, curl your toes under. Take your knees wide. Bring your big toes together. Send your hips heavy over your heels. And come into child's pose. Bring your forehead down to the floor. Take your thoughts inward. Notice what you're noticing. Okay, let's walk our hands back again. We're in tabletop pose. We haven't done this yet this morning. So here we are in tabletop. We've got the knees underneath the hips. From the hips to the armpits, we can feel lots of space. And then exhale, reach your belly up towards the ceiling. And inhale, drop your chest. Make your way into a cow stretch. And begin to move with the rhythm that pleases you. Whatever your breath tells you is the way you need to go. Okay, so again, I'm not very good at this whole video thing. As you're moving through cat-cow, I'm just going to tell you, I have my laptop set up over to my left, and I can see some things on it, but I can't see like your comments. So just now I got up and I walked to my phone that's recording this, and I see some of my peeps. So Kathy and Jackie and Gina and Jolynn. So great to know you're practicing this morning. In the meantime, on my laptop next to me, it's showing all my words in closed captioning. But I can't really see it because it's too far away. So that's, the distractions that come into my head as you're moving through your cat and cow. Can you stay with your breath? Can you stay steady with your sense of balance? Enjoy your natural beauty. Keep growing, all of that. All right, so come back to your neutral space. Step your feet back. Plank pose. Engage your core. Lift your hips up. There are other people watching. I just don't know how to figure out how to say hi to you. So I'm glad you're here. Ooh, feels good to be in this downward dog, right? We've got all that space in the shoulders now. We've got all that space in the low back. The strength of the core is helping us. Now let's lift the right leg, three-legged dog, and push the right heel behind us. Feel your head resting in between your arms, and notice your breath. Look to your right hand. Float your right foot up to your right hand. Drag your right foot up to your right hand if you must. All right, turn your left heel. Rise up. Good. Bringing the right knee over the ankle. Come into warrior two. I think Lori, my neighbor, is here too. Good to see you, Lori. Good. Take a breath. Reach through your right fingertips. Notice what you're noticing. Steady with your breath. Drop the left hand. Float the right hand up. Notice how you're from the hips down, nothing moves. You've got those strong roots in your pose. From there, reach up through the right fingertips. Spider walk your left fingertips down the left leg. Reach through the right fingers. Good. Now take your right elbow, forearm, rest it on the right knee, but not heavy. Just place it on the right knee. So we still want the legs to hold us, not dumping down. Actually lifting up, bringing that left shoulder over the right. Float the left arm up to the ceiling. Extend long from the left foot, the outer edges of the left foot through the left fingertips. Feel yourself breathing. Good. Now untuck your left shirt tail. Bring your left shoulder forward just a little bit. Oh, we're going to find lots of space there from this practice this morning. Inhale, roll your left shoulder over your right. Look to the floor, cartwheel your hands. Right foot comes back to meet the left. Plank pose, up into downward facing dog. Lift your right leg. Breathe here as you push into the right heel. And float your right foot up to, wait a second, we just did that side. Just kidding. Take your right foot back. Release the right foot. Let's do it on the left side. Lift your left leg, three-legged dog. Push into your left heel. Look to your left hand. See, if you'd been in the room with me, you would have given me that clue. All right, take a breath here. Turn your right heel. You probably would have also said you don't want your back side to the camera. All right, breathe into your warrior two. Take a breath. Find the space. All right, let's float the left forearm onto the left thigh. Good. Reach your right arm up and overhead. I think I'm out of sequence. Push into the right foot. Extend through the right fingertips. It's just like old times. Here we are. Breathing here. All right, push down into your feet. Rise up, reverse your warrior. Extending from the left hip all the way through the left fingertips. Go ahead and untuck the shirt tail. Bring the left shoulder forward. Cartwheel your hands back down to the front of your mat. Step your feet back, plank pose. Downward facing dog. Lift your right leg, three-legged dog. Aha, now I'm on the right. Now I do want you to lift the right leg. Good. And then bring your right foot forward to your right hand. Grab your blocks and frame the right foot. Good. Now step your left foot up a little bit. Take another breath. Push your right foot as hard as you can into the floor. Bring your blocks forward. And float your left heel behind your left hip. Come up onto your fingertips. Square the hips. Breathe into all that space we found into the back of the body. Good. Now, flex your toes. No Barbie doll toes here. Hug your toes back towards your heels. Your hips and shoulders are square. You've already stretched them in all the directions. Now, this could be your bus stop this morning. Or maybe you want to put your left hand next to your left hip. Your right hand next to your right hip, extending from the left heel through the top of the head. Don't forget to breathe. Straighten into that right leg a little bit so you can get a little bit taller. Good. All right, release. Here we are in a forward fold. Palms to the earth. Back into plank. Good. Lift up, downward facing dog. Three-legged dog. Float the left foot up to the left hand. Reach for your blocks again. Look at me, I switch sides. No, don't look at me. Stay with your practice. All right, the left knee is weight bearing over the ankle. Step the right foot up a little bit. And then you've got the blocks right underneath your hands. Straighten your left leg without locking it. Float your right heel behind your right hip. Square yourself off. Slow flow. Go into a place where you feel comfortable. Awesome. Thanks for the hearts. Extend through the top of the head. Breathe and notice. And then if you're feeling playful, you've got a sense of balance, you're up on your fingertips, maybe you want to bring your hands next to your hips. Of course, at the studio, this would be where I'd walk around, so I could make sure you're doing it right. All right, release the foot. Release the knees. Come into child's pose. Woo. Breathe into the heat. All right, from child's pose, make your way onto your backs. So you just come all the way down onto your backs. Bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself that poor man's massage. Bringing the knees towards your armpits, rocking from side to side. Release your feet to the floor. You should have your blocks nearby. Put one block in between your feet. You'll hold the feet nice and stable. If you don't have a block, hold your feet nice and stable. All right? The block just kind of keeps you where you have to be, but you don't have to have a block to do this. Tuck your shoulders underneath your chest. I would love it if you had a block for this next, we're doing bridge pose, but if you don't have a block, that too, we can figure that out. All right, tuck your shoulders under your chest. Feet are planted on the floor, shoulders and the back of the head are on the floor. As you push down, inhale and lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Coming into bridge pose, you can even tuck your shoulders a little deeper underneath your chest. As you push down into your feet, your shoulders, the back of the head, you feel your hips lifting. You're just noticing your breath. And then grab that block if you have it, and place it underneath your sacrum. If you don't have it, or if you prefer, clasp your hands underneath your hips, pulling the chest open a little bit more, bringing your knees forward, pushing down to rise up with the hips. Release the block or the hands, come all the way down to the floor. Bring your knees into your chest, and rock from side to side. Right, place your feet to frame the block again. If you don't have a block, place your feet stable on the floor. Tuck your shoulders underneath your chest. Push down into the foundation of the feet, shoulders, and back of the head. Tucking the shoulders under the chest, lifting up, engaging the strength of your core. Now, place your right ankle on your left knee and gently pull the left knee towards the front of your mat. So your legs are sort of in the shape of a 4, and you can flex your toes, both sets of toes back towards the knees to keep the legs supercharged. And then release the right foot. Bring the hips all the way down to the floor. Hug your knees to your chest, rock a little bit. And of course, the rocking, bringing your knees to your chest feels different than if you push your knees into your hands. Do the version that works for you. All right, bring your feet to the floor, frame the block, or stable the feet on the floor. Push down, lift up, bridge pose again. Take your left ankle, place it on your right knee, pull the right knee forward, lifting into the chest. Feel yourself breathing. And release the foot, release the hips. Come into your poor man's massage, rocking from side to side. Okay, now take the block out from between your feet if you were using that block. Keep your feet nice and stable as we've done in those last two versions of bridge pose. Take a breath here. Think of your spine as a zipper. So you want to start at the top of the zipper and push your spine down towards the floor. Make your way down kind of one tooth at a time, pushing down. You start to push, because we did all that stretchy stuff in the back of the body. Go ahead and push down into the middle of the spine, right around the thoracic spine, and then push into right around the belly button. You feel your spine release to the mat. You're working your way down, and then you find yourself at your tailbone. Use your in-breath, lift the tailbone off the floor. Starting from the tailbone, work your way up the zipper, come up into the bridge in a slightly different way. Once you get to the peak of the bridge, reach your right heel, pointing the foot, and release the right foot to the floor. Take the left foot forward, pointing the foot, bring the left foot down. Using your way down the zipper, come all the way down, starting at the top, working your way to the floor. Find a natural curve in the low back. Arch into that curve. All right, let's do that again. We'll start at the top of the spine. Work your way down the zipper. So it takes a little while to make your way up into the full expression of the pose. Don't be in a hurry to get there. Slow flow. Right? Work your way down, one tooth at a time along the zipper. Push into your feet, your shoulders, the back of the head. When you get to the base of the spine, slowly zip your way up into your bridge pose. Bring your left heel forward, point into the foot. Release the left foot to the floor. Bring your right heel forward. Bring the right foot down. Work your way down the zipper from the top of the spine. One tooth at a time. Good, and then find the curve in your low back. Breathe into that. All right, 2 more rounds on each, starting with the opposite side. So we'll make our way down the zipper. When you get to the sacrum, lift the hips off the floor. Reach the hips up towards the ceiling. This time we'll start, the right leg comes first, flanking into the foot. Bring the right foot down. Bring the left foot forward. Bring the left foot down. Slowly work your way back down the length of the spine until you find that curve in the low back. Take a breath in, let it go. Do that again. Work your way down the length of the zipper, all the way down. When you get to the sacrum, lift the sacrum off the floor. Keep lifting the spine, one zipper tooth at a time. Bring your left heel forward, point the toe. Bring your left foot down. Bring your right toes forward, bring it down. All right, slowly work your way all the way down until you find yourself breathing into the space of the natural curve in your low back. Melt your shoulders to the floor. Bring your knees to your chest. Rock from side to side. Take your feet to the wide edges of the mat. Take your arms out into a gentle T. Gently release your knees to the left. And you'll breathe into that space from the right shoulder anchoring down all the way through the right knee. Inhale and come back up. Drop your knees over to the right. Inhale and come back up. Drop your knees to the left. Breathe and notice the space. Maybe get a little crunch here and there. Body just releasing in a nice way. Drop your knees over to the right. Inhale and come back up to center. All right, drop your knees to the left again. This time lift your left ankle and place it on top of your right knee. If that feels good to you. If it feels like it's too much, don't do it. If it feels like it's too much and you want to grab a block and place the block underneath your left knee, that's a great option. Go ahead and take your gaze to your right hand. And breathe and feel your space along the right side of your body. Release the left foot to the floor. Bring your knees back up. Take that windshield wiper motion from side to side, moving at the pace that your breath guides you. Next time your knees drop to the right, keep them on the right side. Place that right ankle on top of the left heel. If you need to put a block underneath your right knee, then that's what you'll do. Look over to your left hand. And feel that space all through the left side of your body. Let your body cool down, right? Maybe in the middle, especially when we did those warrior threes, we found some heat. Maybe that was the growing season for us. Release and bring the right foot back to center. Heel toe your feet back to the center. Hug your right knee towards your right armpit. Release the right foot. Hug your left knee in towards your left armpit. Good. Release the foot. Straighten through your legs. Reach your arms behind you. Feel yourself get really long. Reach through the fingertips. Good. Breathing through from the fingertips to the toes. Feel that space. And then bend your left knee and place your left foot on the right leg. Flex the toes up towards the knees. Coming into a fallen tree. Again, if placing a block underneath your left knee feels a little better for you, then do that. And then let's come into fallen tree on the opposite side. So we'll straighten through the left leg, bend into the right knee. One of the beautiful things about practicing at home, because I think sometimes in the studio, right or wrong, students will feel the need to perform their practice. And we try not to let anybody think that's what we're doing when we practice in the space of the studio. But when we're in the privacy of our home studios, really feel free to do whatever feels good to you. So if it's props that you need, do it. I'm wondering if any of you are practicing in your pajamas. That feels good to you. That's awesome. All right, bring the right knee forward and we'll get ready for Shavasana. So if you wore socks, you may want to put them back on again. If you wore a sweatshirt, you may want to put that back on again. If you have a heavy blanket, you may want to put it over you, or you may want to rest your legs over the blanket. Do what feels good to you. make your way into your Shavasana. Lying flat on your back in some sort of symmetrical shape, where the weight of your hand on the right side is just as grounded as the weight of the hand on your left side. Where the weight of your right shoulder releases to the floor in the same way that your left shoulder releases to the floor.